What's that? Good afternoon, and welcome to this meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich. It is 5 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. Clerk Tara, if you would get started, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drouillard, that the meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich opens at 5 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
Deputy Mayor Loveland will give us the land acknowledgement.
We will begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of First Nations people who have long-standing relationships to the land, water, and region of southwestern Ontario. We also acknowledge that the local lower Thames River watershed communities, which include the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, Munsee Delaware Nation, and Delaware Nation of Moravian Town. We value the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and all of the original peoples of Turtle Island. We are thankful for the opportunity to live, learn, and share with mutual respect and appreciation.
Thank you. I would remind Council of any declaration of pecuniary interest. I see none. The draft minutes from their September 25th, 2024 meeting was in the agenda package. Is there any corrections, errors, omissions? The minutes will be adopted as presented to Council. Clerk Tara, is there any items not listed on the agenda?
We do have two items. One item under the closed session we're adding is litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality, section 2392E of the Municipal Act for the Medical Center. And under new business, we have a request for support for the Heritage Farm Show from Bacchus Page House Museum.
Okay, thank you. And with Council's permission, I'm going to make an adjustment to the agenda. We are going to move the planning ahead of the closed session, if that's okay with everyone. And we have two delegations with us this evening. And the first one is we're going to hear a little about Dale and Steph. Come up and join us. Councillor Dryfout will help you with the microphone. Thanks for coming, and the floor is yours.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for having us and taking some time out of the meeting to let us share what who we are and what our plans are with 161 Curry. So we do have a presentation. I don't know if it's going to come up there. Okay.
No worries. I like to use it as a visual guide.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So this is the building. If nobody's aware of, or I'm sure everybody's aware, it's it used to be Butch's small engine shop, so we've taken it over. We got possession of it last week, and we've just been looking at it. So just next slide there. So a little bit about us. I'm Dale, and this is Steph. We've lived in Dutton for about 5 years now. This is our second house, and these are our 3 cats, and you'll understand why on the next slide, why they're important. So this is why. Our goal is to open a brewery called 9 Lives Brewing. It's going to be a microbrewery in the downtown heart of Dutton. We plan to offer a bunch of craft beer that's going to be brewed on premise. It'll appeal to all different demographics. So there will be like the triple IPAs, super hoppy for like the hipster, younger folk. And then there will be a light lager for, who knows, the older generation or the younger generation, the people that like the blue light, right? And stuff like that. So, and then we're hoping to also have locally sourced snacks like through Carmichael's and other beverages, pop, water for the younger people or people who don't drink, and that's fine. And then we're hoping to also use locally sourced ingredients for the brewing, hops, grain, wherever we can find it, hopefully locally sourced. And then we're also going to have a new inviting atmosphere for everyone, just something different.
Next slide, please. So something that is really important to us and that we kind of envisioned with Nine Lives Brewing is the community building aspect and the social capital that we hope that the brewery will provide. So much like the developments we're seeing through Sasha, we hope that Nine Lives Brewing will help build and contribute to the social capital of our community. Since moving to Dutton, Dale and I have actively sought out ways to get connected to our community through volunteering, joining various social clubs, rec committee, Optimist, making friends with our neighbors and everyone on our street. But a major gap that we've noticed is a social setting where people can connect in the community with new and existing friends without the pressure of belonging maybe to a formal organization. A social space that is the catalyst for making new friends, meeting new people from some of the new subdivisions even, and a space where you can meet up with friends and family from out of town that's not your backyard or your kitchen table. With a focus and emphasis on building roads and homes, and less on the social side of the community building, we run the risk of isolating community members and losing connections. So a simple example of building social capital that I kind of see happening is, I work in London too. Like, why don't we do some carpooling? Or, I have an opening at my job and, let's get you connected. It can be kind of as simple as that. And I fear that we don't have a space where those connections can be made at present. So community partnerships is another facet of community building. And this might look like collaborating with GritFit to operate a run club that starts and finishes at 9 Lives, maybe fundraiser trivia nights partnered with the Lions Club or Optimist Club. We'd love to do pop-up dinners with Chef Thomas Waite from Prim Peony. The options are endless. We are so open to anything. Thanks. Next slide, please.
So we've been following some of the recent council meetings, and we've noticed that there's been the community improvement plan survey that's gone out, and there's a lot of feedback that's shown that there's been a more need for venues, kind of like what we are trying to offer. And then some of the quotes that we've noticed are, I would like to see more cafes, restaurants, even a brewery, multiple venues that attract locals and visitors. And another one was a cafe and coffee shop to get a beverage, a freshly baked goodie. An outdoor patio would be nice, a restaurant that serves beer, wine, meals, bicycle racks, recycle bins. More retail like Giant Tiger, licensed patio or licensed restaurant and outdoor patio. So the theme here was, it seemed like a patio, just a place to grab a drink. And the nice part is we'd be able to offer both of that with the outdoor space that we have on the side, as well as the beer inside, and both types of drinks, beer, like we said, other drinks, and hopefully other types of cocktails and whatnot as well. Next slide, please. So then our future plans in the next year is, on the side, we're going to have a patio, which will have probably picnic tables, umbrellas, just a nice outdoor seating arrangement. And then we're hoping to be using the community improvement plan financial incentives, including like the building design, the facade, the signage, the lighting, property improvement, just to freshen up the exterior of the building to make it look better downtown. We're hoping to even do a sidewalk patio out front, because I know that's mentioned in there as well. And hopefully touch on the building conversion grant as well. I know there's a lot of different grants in the community improvement plan. And then we also saw that there was a talk for an electrical vehicle charging station down in the downtown core. And if we could work with council and somehow collaborate on that, we would be more than willing to. And then parking, we're going to be hoping to do our parking out back. There's lots of space back there. And then we're in talks with Tracy about doing the pre-consultation for the bylaw amendment, because that's not fully encapsulated. And then we're going to be going through the whole steps of doing our application through that. Next slide, please.
So we have certainly utilized and leveraging all of the grant opportunities and support from the community. These are just some of those examples of that. So the Elgin Business Resource Center has been instrumental in kind of making us aware of the ecosystem of supports. Elgin incentives, of course. The pitch is something that we're going to be applying for. The Small Business Enterprise Center, there's a small grant opportunity through them that we're applying to. And then, of course, any supports from the municipality of Dutton Dunwich, whether it's just your emotional support. That's always super great. Thanks. Next slide, please.
And just to touch on this again, I know I mentioned some of this already, but there's no structural renovations, which is nice. It's mainly all just cosmetic to get things looking nice inside, up to the brewery standards. There's a little bit of plumbing, electrical, mainly all for the brewing equipment to go in, which we'll be working closely with Jackie there, and also with Tracy for planning. We're currently working with Nicole McDowell for all of our drawings and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep everything as local as possible. And we're working with Southwest Mechanical for all of our plumbing needs. And then we're going to be working with Tried and True Electrical for all of our electrical needs. Again, trying to keep everything local, small business, keep everybody supported there. And hopefully our timeline is going to be 8 to 12 months to be up and running, depending on cash flow, licensing, permits. There's so many unknowns in that case. So that's our goal. And hopefully sometime mid next summer we'll be up and running if everything goes smooth. So, and then the last slide there.
Yeah, I guess our intention today was just to let you know what's happening. I know in small towns, rumors come up, and it's nice to have a better grip on kind of what's going on in the community. So that was our intention today. But we welcome any questions, tips, advice. And then, are you thirsty? It's also National Beer Day today, so that was.
It is National Beer Day. So there we go. Yeah, thank you again, everybody, for taking this time, and we really appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you for that presentation. And I got ahead of myself. Do you know, I'm sure you know Henry.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and Deputy Mayor Loveland, Ken Loveland,
Hi, nice
Councillor
to meet
Meryl Strulard.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
And we have one member missing, Councillor Pemberton.
Yep.
He lives in Dutton.
Yes, I think I've met him before. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It
Thank
sounds
you.
exciting.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we hear, why don't we have this in town? And I think you've picked up on that, and we're going to have this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's really exciting times for Dutton.
Awesome.
So
Agreed.
work with the staff.
Yep.
They're a terrific staff. They'll guide you through everything, and work with this guy here. He's
That's
on top of our economic development, and as far as Elgin incentives and pointing you in the right direction for these types of things, Henry will be a great resource for you.
For sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
He already has. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Okay?
you very much.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
For sure. No. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, we have another delegation, and it's Brad Powell. Brad, come on up. And you want to discuss building contractors dumping waste material in the municipal landfill. So same thing. Do you know council here?
I know pretty much. I don't think I know Henry, but I think I pretty much have probably met everybody else.
Okay.
I live in the house that doesn't exist. So
Doesn't exist,
doesn't exist because nobody really knows it's there.
really?
Yep.
Are we sending you a tax bill?
Oh, absolutely. Sending me a tax bill. Yes.
Well, then you exist.
Yes, no problem. No.
Okay,
You could cut that down a little bit if you wish, but
no promises. Anyway, the floor is yours, Brad.
the attention has come to the amount of land or amount of waste that's actually heading in to the municipal dump out of the new construction area. My concern, I mean, in the 25 years I've been here, not much has really changed a lot with the dump until the new development started. And then, and I understand, you know, it is cheaper for them to dump at our facility than it is in London. I've done some pricing around. I've been to the dump when some of these bins are rolling in, and from what I know, they're about usually somewhere between the 30 and the 40-yard bins that are coming in. And in London, a 30-yard bin will cost you about $4.75 to dump it. And in our dump, it's $105. But that's not, it's not necessarily the money that's concerning me. It's the fact that we're filling up our landfill faster than we have room to keep expanding. And when that thing's full, there's no way the Ministry of Environment's going to let us do it again. And my concern is that we need to manage that dump for specifically residents of the municipality. Or we're going to end up like other municipalities where everything goes into dumpsters anyways because we don't have any more room. And this stuff doesn't belong in ours. These contractors build in their prices of this cost of disposable. I mean, as a contractor, you just know that's what happens. I understand it's an advantage to dump it with us. But I don't think we should be allowing them to do this. Now, places to meet and talk. Well, the dump's a good one, guys. Seems like, and this is sort of a consensus is the concern of how fast it's filling up.
Mhm.
I talked to Murray from, and he was saying we're going to have to crack a new hole here sometime in the new year. That's pretty fast since we just opened the last one up not much more than a year ago. So, and I remember saying, I don't know, a couple of years ago when it seemed like things were moving, and I said, do we have room for all this? And they went, oh yeah, we got 50 years on that. And it's like, not the way we're cracking her open and moving stuff through it. It's like, no, we don't. I know I'm but one voice, but I know I'm not the only one concerned about this issue.
Mhm.
I just think all that, and I understand the people that live in the municipality should have the right, if they're doing a renovation or something, to dump in there. I mean, that's what we pay taxes for. But the contractors building over here shouldn't have the same privilege.
Okay.
That's my 30 cents.
Thank you for coming in. You did have a conversation with Murray.
I did have a conversation with Murray.
Okay, and we do have a lifespan on that. No, I don't know the number. Does anybody else have that? We could get that to
We
you.
used to have, like, and I'm not, I can't remember how many years back I was going, but I know we had a 50-year plan for that dump.
Yeah,
But that's not the way it's being used now. That was,
we'll have staff look at that and we'll get back to you with the lifespan as we see it right now.
okay.
So we'll provide that information. Part of the problem with the landfill is they haven't wrestled with stuff going in there that's filling the hole quick. Furniture, sofas, mattresses, that kind of stuff. That's filling it up as well.
The curiosity I have is how far can we expand the other projects in there as to bringing in bins that take furniture, couches, stuff like that, mattresses, so that they don't actually sit in the landfill. And I understand that the ministry environment is a bit of a stickler and a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with. I get that. I've been down this road. So I know they're not friendly people to deal with.
And they're watching us close.
Well, yeah, because, well, they got nothing else better to do with their time. That's just my opinion. But if we could try to recycle more in that facility, where, and if you have to dump a couch in there and it costs you $50 to dump the couch, but the couch goes to a transfer station, then to a bigger landfill that's then no longer the municipality's problem. I don't see that as a bad solution. And, even getting down to the core of making people actually what's going in there, sort it. The wood that can be burned, we're allowed to burn straight wood, like no pressure treated. Just so, if you've got studs and stuff coming out of a house or floor coming up, that's all burnable. Is there a way we can go, sort it out? And then so that the only thing that actually goes into the landfill is the stuff that we don't have any other choice, but that's where it has to go. I know there's a problem with the plastics that go in it as well, but I just wonder if we don't scratch our heads a little harder and maybe dig a little deeper, do a little more research on what can we push here, what can we push there, and try and make our landfill last as long as it possibly can. And I understand Dutton is going to explode shortly with that new electrical. Dutton is a great place to live. I've lived here for 25 years and I think it's a great place to live. So, but it's just one of those things that I think is kind of an importance that, and maybe it's because I've been here longer than most, that it's like, it's kind of a privilege to have it and it'd be a shame to have to lose it. And we might have to get creative on thinking on how do we keep it going?
I think we're all in agreement with everything you said. And we fight with this thing every year. If I could ask you, put your thoughts on paper and get it to us. And we're going to take a look at all of them things. And we see the importance of it as well. So council, any comments?
Okay.
If you would do that?
I'd be happy to put thoughts
Okay.
of different programs that
Yeah.
maybe we could come up with that could push this a little bit farther.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know we'll never get another one.
Oh, I know. Like, and we'll be no different than other
Yeah.
municipalities who do have basically plus or minus a transfer station.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the costs for our residents will escalate. It'll have to go somewhere.
it's tipping fees aren't cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
So, but if we could just, even if we get another 10, 15 years out of it,
Yeah, you're right.
I'll probably be dead by then. So then it don't matter to me.
Okay. Well, thank you for your thoughts. And
I will put something on paper for council
please
to
do.
review.
And we'll have staff have a look at it too. And we're always brainstorming on that thing. We don't want to lose it either.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I know. Well, all good ideas. Okay, we are going to, as I said, we're going to move planning ahead of closed. So we're 5:15. We're good to go, Tara? If you would take us into the public meeting, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drulard, that the public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment application ZBA 06/24 filed by McCollum Farms and Sales Limited and Adam McCollum for property located at 28099 Chalmers Line opens at 5:22 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
This is a public meeting as required by Section 34 of the Planning Act to afford any person an opportunity to make representation with respect to a proposed zoning bylaw amendment to rezone the subject property from large lot agricultural A3 to defined area large lot agricultural A3-3 zone for the retained lands and defined area farm industrial commercial M1-1 zone for severed lands. The subject property is locally known as 28099 Chalmers Line in the municipality of Dutton Dunwich. Does any member of council have a disclosure of interest concerning the proposals? I see none. Clerk Tara, what method of notice and when was the notice given to the public for this meeting?
A sign was posted on the subject property by the September 20th, 2024 deadline, and notices were mailed to property owners within 120 meters of the subject property on September 18th, 2024.
Thank you. I see our planner Tracy is with us. Tracy, go ahead with your report, please.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So this application for zoning bylaw amendment was submitted by the property owner. The subject property is a condition of the County of Elgin's Land Division Committee decision to create the lot. This is a unique severance because this is a severance of a industrial agricultural use. So the intent is to have a independent business for the silos. No new dwellings would be permitted on this particular site. So as a condition of the severance, we've asked for a zoning bylaw amendment to put it in a very site-specific requirement. One of the other requirements the building department wanted was a 15-meter setback from the existing barn in order to acknowledge the fire separations. So that has been imposed onto the amendment. So the severed parcel will be rezoned to that M1-1 to permit the proposed use and require that increase in that interior side yard for the existing barn only. And then the retained piece will remain A3, but it'll be a site-specific A3-3 to request a relief to be decreased for that minimum lot area. So administration recommends that this zoning bylaw be approved, and then this would then remove one of those conditions of the Land Division Committee. So happy to answer any questions at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Tracy. Have you received any comments from staff, Tara?
Yes, and they're summarized in the planner's report.
Did you receive any written submissions on this application?
Yes, and they're summarized in the planner's report.
Before I open the floor to questions from the public, please be advised that if any person from the public wishes to receive further information on the action of council regarding the passing of a bylaw on the proposed amendment, please ensure that they leave their name, address, and postal code with the clerk prior to leaving the meeting. I see we have Adam McCollum joined us and Honora. Is there any questions from the public?
Good evening. This is Adam.
Yep. Any comment, Adam?
I just had just one very quick question. I know when I was speaking with Jackie about this, and when we were going through everything, we were discussing A1 versus M1 zoning. I know Tracy has just mentioned the M1-1 zoning. I think my only concern or question, I should say, is what is going to be the difference between A1, M1 zoning in terms of taxes?
Tracy, did you hear enough of that to respond?
Yes, so the reason why we went with the M1 was because it framed the lot size much better for the severed parcel, where if it stayed in M1, you needed, I believe, 20 hectares. So it worked better for lot area and lot frontage in the M1. Plus, the M1 is intended for an agricultural use. So for the taxes, that part, I can't answer. That would be MPAC's assessment. It's usually how it's used, and I don't think they put a lot of weight into zoning, but that's the reason why we went with that zoning. So I'm not sure if the CAO would have any additional comments on how MPAC might assess it.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. They'll assess it as agriculture as long as he has a legitimate farming business number. It all goes through the AgriCorp now, and so they have to get their farming license, and that's how MPAC will decide whether it's the tax class is agricultural or not. So it won't have anything to do with the zoning.
Adam, are
Thank
you back with us?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
We can now. Did you understand what our planner and our CAO just spoke about?
Yes, and I do have a property tax and farming number, so that's not a problem then. I just had a quick question about that. That's not a problem.
Okay, very good. Do council members or any other members of the public have any further questions? I have one, Tracy. I've been getting some calls on this from local farmers interested in, and this is a bit unusual. In my career, I've never dealt with one like this. With the grain bins and the severed parcel there, what else could be built there? Could you build a house?
No, you would not be able to build a house. So other M1 zones, but let me get my book, would include other industrial agricultural uses. It's a zone that was meant for farm industrial. So you could have a feed mill, fertilizer plant, food processing plant, livestock sales and marketing yard, machine and welding shop, meat packing operator, sawmill. Those would be the types of agricultural industrial uses. So it's not a traditional industrial property, it's more farm related that would service the intent of the community it's surrounded by.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from council? Any questions from the public? If there are no further questions, please be advised that any person wishing further information on the actions of council regarding the passing of a bylaw and the proposed amendment should leave their name, address, and postal code with the clerk prior to leaving the meeting. If you are not the applicant, you should request a copy of the decision since it may be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal by the applicant or another member of the public. The last day to appeal is October 30, 2024. Resolution, please.
Moved by Drouillard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the planner titled Application for Zoning Bylaw Amendment ZBA 06/24 28099 Chalmers Line, Municipality of Dutton Dunwich, McCollum Farms and Sales Limited, and Adam McCollum, dated October 9th, 2024 for information, and that Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich approves zoning bylaw amendment ZBA 06/24 for property located at 28099 Chalmers Line from large lot agricultural A3 zone to defined area large lot agricultural A3-3 zone for the retained lands and defined area farm industrial commercial M1-1 zone for the severed lands in accordance with the site-specific bylaw 2024-45. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Adam, for joining us. This public meeting is now
Thank you very
concluded.
much, council.
Please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the public meeting for zoning bylaw amendment application ZBA 06/24 filed by McCollum Farms and Sales Limited and Adam McCollum for property located at 28099 Chalmers Line closes at 5:31 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you. I guess we're going into closed. Sarah, you tell us when you're locked down. I could suggest a couple-minute break. I need a few minutes before we continue. All right, we're back. Let's deal with correspondence. We have the City of Temiskaming Shores, sale of alcohol in convenience stores and locations that sell fuel. Council wish to comment on that one? Okay.
It's fine.
Have a resolution, please.
But I think in certain communities, I think they may have a real issue.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drewlard, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the City of Temiskaming Shores requesting the Government of Ontario reverse their decision to allow alcohol to be sold in more locations and implement the following recommendations. 1, permit municipalities to opt out of retail expansion. 2, grant municipalities the powers to use zoning to determine where new alcohol retail locations are acceptable. 3, not permit alcohol sales within 150 meters of schools, daycares, or substance use facilities. 4, prohibit the sale of alcohol at gas stations. 5, require health warning labels on all alcohol containers. 6, dedicate a portion of provincial alcohol revenue to addressing alcohol-related harms. And 7, develop and implement a comprehensive provincial alcohol strategy in partnership with municipalities that prioritizes health and safety and considers the costs associated with alcohol consumption. And further, that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the City of Temiskaming Shores. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you. The Regional Municipality Waterloo solved the crisis. Council wish to comment on that correspondence? Heard this many times before.
I feel like we've supported this many times.
Yeah. You have a resolution for Tara?
Moved by Drewlard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Municipality of Waterloo calling upon the provincial and federal governments to commit to immediate action to solve the humanitarian crisis that Ontario is facing, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the Municipality of Waterloo. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you. Western Ontario Wardens Caucus, the roadside zoo legislation. This has been kicked around for a while. Any comments on that one? But there's never been action. Go ahead, Tara.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution of the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus petitioning for provincial government to implement provincial regulations to restrict the possession, breeding, and use of non-native or exotic animals and licensed zoos in order to guarantee the fair and consistent application of policy throughout Ontario for the safety of Ontario's citizens and the non-native exotic wild animal populations, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus. All in favor? And that's carried.
Thank you. Western Ontario Wardens Caucus, the Blue Box Program, producer responsibility. Now, this is something I didn't realize or didn't know. Any comments on this one? That there were exemptions from it, but go ahead, Tara.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drewlard, that correspondence item 10D from the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus be received and filed. All in favor? And that's carried.
In the town of Perry Sound, AMCTO call to update Municipal Elections Act. Anyone wish to comment on that one? See none? Resolution, please, Tara.
And maybe I'll just add, I did read through the whole document. There's 45 recommendations. It's quite lengthy and super exciting to read. But I do agree with, if not all of the recommendations that they've put forward through that. Moved by Drewlard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the town of Perry Sound calling on the province of Ontario to update the Municipal Elections Act with priority amendments as outlined by AMCTO before summer 2025 and commence work to review and rewrite the MEA with longer-term recommendations ahead of the 2030 elections, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, AMCTO, and the town of Parry Sound. All in favor? And that's carried.
Keep going, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that relevant correspondence was reviewed. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, on the consent agenda, I'll just break it up into three. The consent correspondence, the list of 4 there, anyone wish to comment on any of them? They're just reports and very well done on EDC again. Go ahead. Oh. Item B is the committee reports. Now there was no attachment on, I think, just about every one of them. And the staff monthly reports. Anyone wish to speak to any one of those staff reports? I'll make a comment on Archie's. That was welcome news. I guess if it never rains again, we're in good shape.
I don't know if you noticed on Murray's too, he's down another employee.
Yep.
Dean burnt himself, so he's gonna be off.
Dean? Oh, just.
Yeah, so yeah, he's already lost Jim.
Jim.
And he just lost Dean. He was working in his garage on Friday night, I think, and something exploded. He's got 3rd, 4th degree burns, so he's gotta go. Yeah, Murray showed me the pictures yesterday. It was nasty. So I can't believe he's out of the hospital though because of the infection, right?
Yeah.
He's gotta go see the skin grafting guy next week or something. So yeah, so he's down. Dean as well, so he's struggling.
These guys got to take care of themselves away from the workplace as well. The gym's happened on a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, any, I noticed the building report is above last year.
Yeah.
Scares me.
Yeah, and the Lions just
Yeah.
got theirs, so.
Okay. Any other time, that's terrific news, but we all know what we're facing. Okay, anything else council wish to discuss on the list of 9? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if everybody, the recreation report, the grant application, correct? Is that was in this report? So I'm assuming that's all fine with council because I think she was seeking direction from, Charlotte was seeking direction from council, I believe.
Go ahead.
So we do have that report further down under
Okay.
other staff.
Oh, sorry.
reports.
All right.
That was an
Okay.
addition to
Okay.
the agenda. Everybody good with the other reports?
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drewler, that the items on the consent agenda be approved. All in favor? And that's carried.
Thank you. And we have the clerk's report. Does the clerk wish to comment further or just what's written down?
So the report is in front of you guys. We did do the 5 policies through our policy group. We will have another batch for you guys soon. But we've just made some updates and modernizations to the policies that we put before you. The flag protocol policy, we do get a lot of requests for other flags aside from the Canada flag, and previously the policy only had the Canada flag in there. And then our reimbursement of employee expenses, we had 2 different policies, so we put them together into one. Our social media website policy with just the changes of how people interact with municipalities and inappropriate comments. So now we kind of have that power to remove the inappropriate comments or shut down commenting if something does get out of hand. And our attendance management policy, it just kind of gives us that procedure on what we'll do if we need to handle somebody that needs some assistance. And the progressive discipline policy has more beef to it as well.
Go ahead.
Just pertaining to the flag protocol in policy review part 2, you have managed by the recreation department and recreation committee. I think we should just take out recreation committee and just the recreation department to simplify it, because I don't think this should ever be an issue in committee.
Right.
So
Should it be recreation department or facilities?
recreation department is what I think is what the whatever. Yeah, I think that should be amended. And then one other question, with regards to discipline, and I don't know if this would be if this is in job descriptions or in the hiring process, but I've had experience with disgruntled employees in social media. And sometimes it's happened that during discipline or during the process of even being let go or fired, that it becomes a social media issue. And I know a lot of businesses or a lot of companies now are asking employees to sign something that relates to that they can't defame their former employer. So I don't know if that's something that is in our employee agreement or if that's something that we can address through discipline. So
that is in our social media and website policy. It is listed in there that we need to, like, even on your personal account, because you are an employee of the municipality, you are representative of the municipality. And then that's also addressed through the employee code of conduct as well.
I'm thinking outside of the employee code. So if they're no longer working for us, you can actually legally bind them for a period of time from, say,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just a
and
thought that crossed my mind
could be
because I've
like
seen it so many times.
Yeah, and that could be a one pager that we add, like even to the onboarding package that they sign. We can add it to. We were just going to look at the next one of the next ones we're looking at. Can't remember the termination policy, and there's another one, but yeah, we can add we can add that into the next. We're kind of working our way through these ones, and yeah, so I understand what you're saying. This is like after you've been given notice, or you've got you.
So every one of these is a draft, would you say, Tara?
At this point, they are draft until you guys approve them by resolution.
So you can make alterations.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That was a lot of work by staff and good work. Yeah, a lot of good work. Stuff we don't see behind the scenes. So no further questions on that? Go ahead, Clerk Tara, please.
Moved by Droulard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the clerk titled 2024 to 2026 Policy Review Part 2, dated September 25th, 2024 for information. That should be October 9th. And that Council approve the following policies. M01001 Flag Protocol Policy. F02002 Reimbursement of Employment Expenses Policy. M03001 Social Media and Website Policy. H02002 Attendance Management Policy. H03001 Progressive Discipline Policy. All in favor? And that's carried.
Thank you. And now we're on to the CAO Treasurer's Report, and it's a financial report. Go ahead, Tracy, you want to comment further on it?
No, this is the Q3. Nothing really standing out as of yet. You've got the operating, the capital, the balance sheet, and the cash flow account. The cash flow is the one that always worries me the most. So if you look at that, all the ins and outs, we overspent by $1.2 million. This is where I don't sleep at night. Because but it just kind of shows you where the changes are. We brought in funding from that loan, but then we turned around and decreased the line of credit. So we only ended up with $287,000 in the bank from the loan because we were that far in our line of credit. We spent like $1 million in capital projects that is waiting for funding or grants. Almost 300 in drains. So yeah, without the cash in the bank, without any kind of cash flow, we struggle monthly to make things happen. So
Can you comment on tax collection? It's a little slower.
it's slower than usual. Yeah. So I won't know until year end how bad it is. Now Sherry had 2 that were up for tax sale, and they just came in and cleaned that up, so that was good. Because we're not in the business of taking people's houses. The last thing you want to do, but yeah. So I mean, they are slower, but Sherry's on them. Star's on the water bills, getting those in.
I don't know what that says about the economy, but I had a conversation with Sherry, and yeah, it's more not paying on time than we've seen recently. So,
and that hurts our cash flow because
Absolutely.
we have to pay the county and the school board whether we collect it or not. So anyways, yeah, that just I like to do the cash flow just actually for myself. I used to just do it for myself, but I thought it's nice to add for council to see what ins and outs. Anyways.
And as I read this, all of the departments seem to be holding their budgets.
Yeah. That's why I say the operating looks good so far. I mean, at the end of the year, you might find some things, but yeah, we're doing good there. It's coming up with the cash for drains and capital, and we got that new loan, so that's a $12,000 loan payment that I didn't have in my budget, but I think I made up for that with the bank charges where we left it up where they were. So anyways.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay. Tara, are we ready for a resolution on that one?
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the CAO Treasurer titled September 30th, 2024 Financial Reports dated October 9th, 2024 for information. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay, this is the one Henry referred to a while ago.
Excuse me, Mayor Hens.
Yes.
Can I just jump back? I had written a little note for myself, but I wrote it in the wrong spot. And I wanted to ask Tracy something at her treasurer's activity. I saw that you're working again on the wastewater treatment application. I was wondering if you had submitted it.
No, it's not due till November 1st, but I'm pushing Dylan. I said I don't want this last minute because the last time I couldn't get it to go through and it was a long day. But we're working now on costing because what they considered phase 1 before is really only going to get us to the point where we can actually service what we have.
Right.
So then to do phase 2, we're working on numbers right now. So
okay, so I'm going to throw this out here, and I might be way off base here, but I'm wondering if you consider having our successful neighbors to the east have a quick peek at it to see if there's something that they go, oh, gee, you missed this, or gee, add this to bolster your, because I feel like she would probably do that for you, because they were successful and we weren't. And so maybe it's just something tiny.
Well,
Or-
I think
right?
we knew they were going to be successful.
Yes,
I was
we
already
did.
planning,
I mean, yes.
but yeah,
But
we-
maybe
I
just
did-
if there's
yeah.
something, because you never know,
Yeah.
like it never hurts to have a
Yeah.
second set of eyes, because you've looked at it a whole bunch of times.
Well, I don't do the technical, Dylan does, but I did reach out and I got a letter from Sandy, letter of
Mhm.
support from Sandy. I haven't got one from Russ.
He said it was coming.
I'm going to reach out to Collier, Kathy Collier from
Excellent.
St. Thomas, because I know Southhold did do that. They got letters of support from their developers. But yeah, I can have Aaron at Southhold have a look at it for me.
Yeah,
Just go through it.
because I mean, to do all that work and then find out that it's something teeny that it's like, oh man. So a
Yeah.
second set of
Yeah.
eyes. It was just a
Yeah.
suggestion.
Yeah, no.
And it's certainly.
Yeah.
You require letters of support? from-
No, but Lisa said they put one in, so I'm thinking can't hurt.
They did it.
Can't hurt.
So yeah,
So
yeah,
Well-
we're going to do it.
yeah.
And
Well, I
speaking of,
can find somebody else that's actually doing a lot of work around here, so
Well,
I need to be.
yeah.
Ask them
and
to-
speaking of letters of support, again, we have a battery plant being built just outside of St. Thomas, and they are going to be in need of housing that we can furnish. So would it be out of line, out of the question to ask the mayor of St. Thomas when we tell him we have this much housing, but if we don't get this running, like we can provide this much, but if we don't get this running to capacity and upgraded, we're not going to be able to provide that to you. I mean, I don't know whether it would hurt to have that conversation, Mayor Hens, perhaps. I mean, I know you have a bit of a rapport with him, and maybe it's way out in left field, but
I can have a conversation, and I've had numerous conversations with Mayor Jones. And I asked him, and we had that conversation of pricing. I don't know whether Dylan did all of their work down there, but he was going to reach out to Aaron, and Aaron's going to respond. He's the same one we're going to run it by.
Yeah.
And something seems a little out of whack. Ours seems very expensive compared to what Southhold's doing with the same kind of money. So we're going to try and nail that down. Now, what was that deadline again?
November 1st.
Okay, and we have another council meeting. Could I suggest we put that on the agenda and we'll present council with all we've got at that time? You wouldn't be submitting by then, would you?
No.
Okay.
No.
And we'll have that discussion, and council will get an opportunity to see what the application is. And any other thoughts we want to know.
There's not a lot on the application.
No.
Like, there's not a lot to see. Like you're only allowed like 250 characters to
Mhm.
try and explain what
Yeah.
you're trying to do. And it's horrible. Like it's just,
And it was
Yeah.
the 11th hour, I know. we
and
were
I kept
texting back
deleting
and
words
forth,
trying to
and
get it. Yeah.
I think you met the midnight deadline.
Boy,
by
they
about
let
an
me
hour.
email it to them, and then
Yeah.
they finally figured out why it wouldn't go through. And
So,
yeah, it was just a
We
mess.
got to get ahead of this one.
Yeah.
sometimes you have to do them in a document and then copy and paste it into your. It's
Well, 'cause- And
terrible.
that's what everybody was complaining. Like they
Yeah,
want us to explain what we need, and you got 250 characters. It's never going to happen.
I have
so.
done those before
Yeah.
too. and
So
it's
we
not
have
nice.
Aaron looking at it
Aaron
tentatively.
is going to respond to my request from the mayor. And Grant, it's like, I don't know. I mean, staff looked after it for him.
Well, they
So-
asked for more than we did. They got 28 million, but they still have to put 23% on top of that. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But they're getting a brand new wastewater treatment plant.
well, we basically would have been due
Well, not in that application.
on
We're
our
still
first.
building on our own one, on our.
Well,
own.
it's pretty much like doing a brand new one. What we were doing
Yeah.
the 2 phases. Yeah.
Okay, well, we got to take a look at that.
And the
Do we go
force
for the
main
whole
and
shot or
pumping
do we
station.
not?
Yeah.
But honestly, it came down to numbers of houses. They could do
Yeah.
more than us
Mhm.
for basically the same request.
That's the bottom line. It was the
That's-
number of houses, and
Yeah, exactly.
that
The
first
minister
round
told
was
me
all
that.
about the number of
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah. We did or the
Yeah.
financial capacity, because there's nowhere on there saying
No.
how you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And
Financial.
obviously they have, if you look at their FIR compared to ours, they have money. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Okay, we'll put that on an agenda next council meeting prior to submitting the application. Okay, I'm lost where I'm at. here.
Oh, back to the
Well,
community sports.
Okay. Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund, that was included in the package, I believe. Any Go ahead, Councillor. Grateful.
Well, it's just in reference. It's just in reference to the request from Charlotte as to the work that council, are we supporting Charlotte on all of what she's asking? I think that's what the question is, the pool repairs, the playground at the pool, and what else was there? I'm sorry.
Pool heater.
The pool heater. Yeah.
Yeah, she needs council's
Yeah.
resolution to put with the grant.
And she's applying for, do we know how much? It says 150,000 to 1 million.
I don't know. She was looking for estimates. I don't know if she actually found them or not.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, estimate would be 200 grand.
oh, she did. I asked her to put numbers in there, but I didn't know if she had actually found them or not.
So an
Yeah,
estimate.
yeah, yeah.
So what you're asking is council behind this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I did talk to Jeff today from West Elgin because he's doing the grant for the arena. And we're named as a partner. So you can't put in an application and be the lead, but we won't be the lead on that one. So it shouldn't mess us up asking for this one. Yeah. Yeah.
I will say the pool does need work for sure. And the playground, we've had some residents speak to the playground and it's in bad shape. So it's something we definitely need to consider now or down the road for sure. So it's something we do have to address. So.
okay. Go ahead, Tara, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drouillard, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the Recreation and Administration titled Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund dated October 9th, 2024 for information, and that Council approves and supports the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich application for the Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund for a pool heater, pool edging, and playground. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay. Any unfinished business? Okay. Any new business? I see we have a Bacchus Page House grant support request, but go ahead.
Yes, so every year they send us a request for support for their Heritage Farm Show. So in order for them to get the grant, they need us to sign off on the support.
Okay.
All right. Moved by Drouillard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the Heritage Farm Show event held at Bacchus Page House Museum and directs the mayor to sign the confirmation letter. All in favor? And that's carried.
Are there any announcements?
Oh, I did. I put an offer out to a person for deputy treasurer and he's accepted. So he'll be starting October 30th. I already got questioned by Jeff this afternoon when I called him.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were pleasant to me at the arena board this morning, so I.
They didn't know.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah. I got accused of poaching.
Henry asked me to reach out to the mayor and I said, I think I'll let the dust settle before on another issue. So anyway, but we don't know what's going on. Proposed bylaws, Tara.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that bylaw 2024-45 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2022-50 for property located at 28099 Chalmers Line be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay. And confirm proceedings. Tara, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drouillard, that bylaw 2024-46 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Municipal Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, and our next meetings and October 23rd, we will include the funding application discussion. And then November 13th. And the one we're waiting for, Tara, please.
Moved by Drewlard, seconded by Dreyfus, that the meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich closes at 7:07 PM. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay. We did all that in 2 hours. Not bad.